Hi again, everybody. Tony Caridi along with Jed Drenning, and On the Clock continues with week number 4, West Virginia taking on the Buffaloes of Colorado, a return game after West Virginia lost in Boulder a season ago. It was a really tough loss, as everyone knows, for the Mountaineers. Jed, can West Virginia avenge the defeat this season?
I think that's a distinct possibility. I mean, first and foremost, looking back on last year, it was a tough one to let get away. But what we have to understand and be conscious of is the fact that Dan Hawkins is telling his kids at Colorado that West Virginia game is one we almost let get away on their end. So they got off to a quick start. 3-0 last year for the first time in a number of years. There was some excitement surrounding that program for the first time in a while. And then what ended up happening was the injury bug set in. They ended up losing 121 starts because of injury. Rarely do you see a football team as afflicted by the injury bug as the Colorado Buffaloes were last year. They lost 7 of their final 9 football games, in large part as a result of these injuries, and the low point was probably in a 58-0 defeat at the hands of conference rival Missouri, the worst defeat they'd suffered in half a century.
As they go into this season, the question is quarterback. Dan Hawkins' son, Cody, played quarterback for the Buffs against West Virginia last season, but he may not necessarily be the guy by the time these two teams play.
Yeah, in a very quarterback-rich and offensive-rich conference, the Big 12, the problem, if you're a Colorado Buffalo, is you probably got the worst of the lot in either Cody Hawkins or Tyler Hanson. And the thing about it is, coming into Colorado, you're talking about a guy in Dan Hawkins whose pedigree was on the offensive side of the football. He was known for wide-open, high-octane attacks. That hasn't materialized in Colorado. They're going to have to some extent lean on a running game, which could turn out to be pretty deep. You had Darrell Scott come out of high school as a very highly touted prospect a few years ago. Didn't play as much last year because he turned out to not be quite as college ready as Rodney Stewart, the kid who came in and knocked 160 plus on us. So they're going to have to lean on that running game, whoever emerges at quarterback.
It's tough to win in Morgantown. It's tough to win, especially in Morgantown, on Thursday night under the lights. That will be the setup. West Virginia taking on the Buffaloes of Colorado. And that is On the Clock for Game 4 of the season, along with Jed Drenning. I'm Tony Caridi on WV, MetroNews.com.